Good morning, afternoon, and evening from wherever you are listening. Welcome back to the Breakevens podcast. My name is Corey, and as always, with me is Jack.
Hello.
So, round 17 is over. We're getting towards the end of the season. We're leading up to finals. Clary Oliver's gone down with a thumb injury, but should only be a week, so we should be okay there. Apart
Has
from
Steve confirmed not playing?
that, it's very unlikely. Um, but
But
yeah,
there's still a chance.
there is, yes. Thank you all again for your support as always on Twitter at Breakevens Pod or on YouTube at the Breakevens, and same with Apple Podcasts. Search the Breakevens, you'll find us there. Today's podcast, we're going to review last round's games as always, give you a hot and colds. There's not going to be any B, C, and C options this week. Um, I have had a very busy week, as in I've had a child be very, very sick, so I haven't been able to get on and do as much research as possible. So I apologize for that, but that will be back next week. And we will be discussing our personal teams and the break evens team as well. So, all right, Jack, we'll start off. How did you go last week?
I scored 2,396.
Yep.
Took as a vice captain, went very well. Took his 135. My ranks, I jumped 2,400 again. I'm back down to 18,000 again. I've been a yo-yo the last couple of weeks. Just looking, Sicily had a bad game for his standards. I think it's one of the first times he's under 100,
Yep.
if not the first. Jack Crisp is useless. I think it's more reliable than Pat Lipinski, and that's saying something.
But he did score more than Redmond, so.
I mean, yeah, that's because Redmond didn't play. Lockie Neal had an 89, which wasn't great, but it was also good because my opponents had him captain.
Yeah.
And it gave me win, so I'm not complaining. Dunkley, I don't know what he did. I didn't watch the game, I can't lie.
It didn't do much.
Yeah, by the looks of it, he didn't. And Liam Baker as well didn't score too highly.
Yep. So what are you looking to do trades wise?
So I've done my 2 trades for this week. I've gone DM Brosio down because he had the injury and I needed the money. And I've gone Jace Burgoyne.
Yep.
He's played 2 games. He's got an average of 66, so he looks the decent player for Port.
Yep.
Should keep his spot, hopefully, or else I'm fucked. And then I've gone full 360, I'm pretty sure. From what I remember, I traded this man down to Cripps, and I've just traded Cripps back down to him, and that's Jack Steele.
Yep. Nice.
Which leaves me with 2 trades and 86k left.
Nice. So I did a little worse than Jack this week. I scored 2,373. I did jump up another 1,427 ranks. So now I'm ranked 14,567th. So top 15k. I want to go another 10k in the last few rounds, but we'll see how we go. Basically, same as everyone or most people had Neil captain, which hurts. Going Walsh over Callum Mills as well did not work out for me last week, and also going Isaac Cumming didn't work. It was 64. But apart from that, pretty happy with how my team went. No no trades for me this week with Oliver if he doesn't play. As long as Rhett Bazzo doesn't get dropped, I can cover that. So that should be okay. VCC, as I said, I didn't have time to go through it all, but if I'd either go a VC in the Bulldogs Saint Kilda game or in the Adelaide Collingwood game, and captains, I mean, you'd probably go Neil against GWS, and maybe risk it a talk against Essendon, even though Giant Caldwell just did a number on Neil there. So that's what I personally would do. I haven't really looked into it yet, but that's just a rough idea. We'll go into the Breakevens team. So Breakevens team scored 2,436, Jack. And they had the Breakevens team is now ranked 12,679. So it's doing really, really well. We had Neil captain, which hurt, but unlike me, we had Mills. So that's a real big difference there. And Harry Himmelberg. So pretty happy, and no trades for me or for the break-evens either. So, all right, we'll get straight into the games. I believe I had the first one, didn't I, Jack?
Yes, you did.
So that was the Cats versus the D's, I believe. So just let me get that up.
Yes.
It was lovely. Let me go here. Hang on. Why is this not? Supercoach is stuffed up on me for some reason. Give me 2 seconds. It should be okay now. There we go. All right, I've got everyone's bloody scores up. So Geelong won by 28 in a bit of an upset. You think it would be a good game, and Geelong were always a chance, especially at GMHVA. They did get up. So the Hots, and I'm going to read both teams out at the same time. So Jack Bond is 133, Chloe Oliver, who fractured his thumb but should only miss a week if he misses any, scored 124, Cam Guthrie 119, Tom Atkins 119, Mitch Duncan 117, Paddy Dangerfield 114, Zach Tui 103, and Angus Brayshaw 102. The Colts, you go Petraka with a 91, Hawkins 77, Luke Jackson with a 65, Jeremy Cannon with a 60, and that boy James Jordan, who usually scores well, scored a 50. So that's it for that team, for that game. Jack, you had the Swans versus the Bulldogs.
I did, where the Swans won by 53 points. Getting into the Hots, Callum Mills 138, back to his best. Tom Papley 128. He got reported. I don't think he got any weak, but that was the softest report I've ever seen. He attacked the ball. A free kick was given for high contact, which is fair enough, but a report is really dragging it, especially where you don't see a report for Selwood breaking Clayton Oliver's thumb.
Yep.
Luke Parker 113, Isaac Heaney 112, Sam Reid 109, Paddy McCartan and Chad Warner both had 108. Lloyd had 106. Getting into the doggies, we've got Libba with 103, the Bont with 101, and Jackson McRae with 100. Got injured, and Nick Blakey scored an 86. And for the doggies, Scott got injured, and English got a 97, Trelaw a 94, and Dunkley a 62. And that's all I had for that game.
Awesome. So I had the Pies versus the Ruse, and the Pies only won by 7 in a very poor show out for the Pies, I'd say, but we got the win. So we'll take that, but should have won by a lot more, I feel. The Hots, Luke Davies Uniac, Jack, I told you this boy is going to break out 149. He has an average of 99.3. Jed Anderson 135, Todd Goldstein 120, and cops some abuse on Twitter. Jeremy Howjack
Thank you.
111, Pendles 110, Nick Larkey 109, and Jai Simkin 105. Nick Dacos 99 as well. The Colts, I'll say Maynard 93 just because he's turned up. The last few, Adams 81, not happy about that. Pat Lipinski 62. And Stevenson got injured. I'm not exactly sure what that was.
He went into the game injured. I know that much. Jaden
Okay.
Stevenson.
Aiden Bonner scored a big 27.
Should have put him in the Hots. His highest score of the year.
And that's actually it for that game. So Jack, move on to the next game, which was Gold Coast versus Richmond.
Which, for the second time in 3 weeks, Richmond's been in a fucking amazing game, and they lose by under a goal.
Yeah.
That game was bloody awesome to watch, even though Richmond lost. Gold Coast won fair and square, unlike the Snipers did a couple of weeks ago. They targeted Melbourne and won as well. What can I say? But getting straight into the Hots, Noah Anderson, 154. I think 152 of that 154 was from that goal after the siren. No, he played very well as Mr. Tuk Tuk with 135. Brandon Ellis, 128. Now, it's Ben Ainsworth that plays for Gold Coast, right?
One of them, yeah.
One of the Ainsworths, 123. Jared Witt's 117. David Swallow, 109. And Bose, 102. And for the Tigers, the free votes himself, Shai Bolton, 162. Dan Rioli, 129. And I will not be saying this name ever again in the Hots. Robbie Tarrant scored 111.
Jeez.
My king.
Get around him.
Getting in the colds, we've got a new Aiden Bonner club member. Yes. Matt Roses was subbed out with a -8. My king. Oh. Sean Lemon scored a 5. I chucked him in because that's pretty funny as well. Played a full game to score 5. Matt Rowell, 87. And for Richmond, Carnage, we got Jaden Short at 95, which is harsh. It's his highest score in 6 weeks. Liam Baker is 70, like I said before, and the Carnage. Tom Lynch, a hamstring, 1+ weeks. Van Soldo, a broken thumb, at least a week. Toby Nankervis with a knee injury, which could possibly be a PCL, but they said it looks like it isn't, but is most likely to miss this week. Carnage.
Yeah.
And that's all I had for the game.
No worries. So next I had Freo versus Saint Kilda. Freo won by 41 points, pretty expected. The Hots, Eddie Brayshaw, 132. Shrek Darcy, 111. Josh Battle, 111 as well. Jack Sinclair, 110. Jack Steele, 109. Brad Crouch, 108. Rory Lobb, 100 with his beach blonde hair. The Colds, Rowan Marshall, 93. Will Brody, 88. Caleb Sarong, an 86. Luke Ryan, 81. I have his game. He scored under 100 again. It always seems to work out. Mundy, 64, gets his age there. Walters with a 51. Jay Gresham 49, Paddy Ryder 44. Just one thing quickly, Jack Steele is very cheap, 550k for someone who could average 120. So people, you can jump on him if you're looking to upgrade like Cripps or someone that's underperforming. So, all right, Jack, you had the next game, which was Port versus the GWS Giants.
In where Port won by 55, another bloody smashing. Getting straight into the hots, we've got Connor Rosie, 154. Jeremy Finlayson and Charlie Dixon both got 111. Danny Houston, we don't have a problem this week. He scored 104. And DBJ, Darcy Byrne-Jones, got 101. For the Giants, that's what they're called, Cornelio and Ward both scored 113. My boy Jelly got 110. And Tim Taranto got 109. It's an interesting forward pick there.
Yep.
He's picked up from the last few weeks. And getting into the colds, a bit harsh, but Zach Butters in his comeback 96. Travis Boak 94. And Ollie Wines a 69, you naughty bugger. And over to the Giants again. Harsh, Harry Himmelberger 98. He's been scoring hundreds for fun. He's just under that 100 mark, so that's like my ruling, I guess. Adam Kennedy and Phil Davis both injured. I don't know what happened to Kennedy, but I know Davis has done his string again.
Yeah.
Which sucks for him and sucks for the Giants, but it's pretty funny. Jacob Ware only scored a 36. Tom Green only scored a 50, and Toby Green only scored a 62.
Yeah, those Greens been pretty cold recently, haven't they?
Yeah, and that's all I've got for that one.
All right, so move on. Brisbane versus the Bombers. The Bombers won in an upset by 10 points. Did 10 players out with health and safety protocols, you'd still expect them to win. They were in a chance to win it, but they missed. So the Hots, Zachy Merritt, 147.
2 weeks in a row, isn't it?
Yeah. Zachy Merritt 147, Nick Hind 128, Jai Caldwell 121, did an absolute job on Lockie Neal. 2 meter Peter 118, the Big O 115, Jaden Laverde 111, Brandon Zirk Thatcher 108, Cole Langford 107, Matt Guelphy 106, Jordan Ringley 103. The interesting thing there is the Big O was the only Lion to turn up. The Colds, Hubert Cluggage 91, Lockie Neal 89, Jared Lyons 80, Andy McGrath 77, Zach Bailey with 59, Jake Stringer with 54, Nick Martin 52, and Massimo D'Ambrosio 36 got injured. I wasn't 100% sure. It was the cork thigh, wasn't it? I think.
Something like that. Give me a second. No, he was subbed.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a cork thigh.
It just says limped off in the third quarter, so yeah, I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a cork thigh anyway. Probably going to miss this week. He was only doing running today, couldn't get into full training, so look out for that. But that's that game done. So Jack, you'll move on to your last game. You only had 4 games this week, which I know you're pretty happy about. The Hawks versus the Crom.
Yes, and people were expecting it to be a close game with how they were. I think Adelaide was up 1 position ladder before the game from Hawthorn.
Yeah.
But surprisingly, the Hawks won by 32. Surprising that they won, especially when you said that they would have won a game for the year. And it's surprising the margin. Thought it would be a lot closer. Getting into the hots though, we got Dylan Moore, 135, my king, top scored for the game. Blake Hardwick, 133. Jordan Lewis, Mitch Lewis, 119. Connor Nash, 108. And Tom Mitchell, 102. Going over to Adelaide, Rory Laird, 125. Brody Smith, 119. Riley O'Brien, 106. Benjamin Keys, 102. And Matt Crouch, 100 with 100 handballs for the game.
Apparently, Matt Crouch is going to be dropped this week.
Really?
Yeah, he was traded with the reserves side.
Too many handballs for what's his face is like in Knicks or whatever it is. Yeah, doesn't like to handball. The bold boy loves the ball to get kicked, and Matt Crouch says no. Getting into the colds, but for Hawthorn, James Sicily with the 92. And for Adelaide, Jordan Dawson, an 80. He played in like 7 different positions for the game. He just kept getting moved because he couldn't get into it.
Yep.
And the Texan only scored 43, where he's been scoring hundreds recently, so I chucked him in.
Yep, and he just signed a 1-year contract, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there.
Cold form from him. Who'd want to re-sign with Adelaide?
Yeah, exactly. All right, I'll take us into the last game. The West Coast Eagles versus Carlton. The Blues won by 63, which was a bit unfair, I'd say. Jack, we were out to dinner while this game was on, and it was only 10 points at halftime, but then the rain came and Carlton just dominated. So we'll get straight into the hots. Charlie Kerner, 142. Sam Doherty, 131. Shannon Hearn, 130. George Hewitt, 123. Andrew Gaff, 118. Matt Kennedy, 116. Harry Mackay, 109. Adam Chera, 103. Liam Duggan, 101. As we move to the Colds, Paddy Cripps only at 92. Sammy Walsh, 88, which I was not happy about. Luke Shuey, 79. Tim Kelly, 77. Nick Nat only a 68. Wee Tarina, 66. Adam Sard, 64. Josh Kennedy did kick his 700th goal. He scored a 63. Jack Petrocelli went off injured on a 49. Not sure what it is, but it says hamstring actually. So there you go. And my boy Rhett Bazzo with a 34, and Liam Ryan, Jack, 15.
My king. To be fair, I didn't see him when we were out. I did not see him on the TV at all.
Yeah, well, that's why he only scored 15. Now that's it for that game, and that's it for all the games. I've got 2 quick things I want to go over quickly, Jack. If that's okay with you. Do you have anything you want to talk about before then, or?
No, I don't really know anything to talk about.
No. Cool. So we had our last grouping of DPPs for this round. So from this week forward, there won't be any more DPP changes. So there was only about 9 or 10 people on this list. So I'll quickly go through them. For Carlton, Matthew Cottrell, he was a mid, now he's a mid forward. Archie Perkins for Essendon was a forward, now he's a mid forward. Tom Atkins for Geelong was a defender, now he's a defender mid. Harry Himmelberg was a forward, now a defender forward, which we were speaking about that last week, Jack, off the pod. Liam Shields was a mid, now mid forward. That could be decent. Will Day was a defender, now he's a defender mid. Jeremy Finlayson from Port was a forward, now he's a forward ruck. This is a big one. Rowan Marshall was a ruck, now he's a ruck forward. We just need to wait for Payne Ryder to go down injured, and then we can have him in our forward lines if we want. Bailey Williams from the Bulldogs was a defender, now he's a defender mid. And my boy Brady Hoff was a mid, now he's a defender mid. So that's all the DPPs for this year. One thing I did want to talk about, Jack, was the notable CBA movements from the last round. So these people that had an increase in CBAs, and then those that had a big decrease. And there's a couple of your blokes on here, Jack. So
don't like the sound of that.
So those that got more CBAs, Adam Chera had 48% of CBAs for this round, which was up by 48%. So he had really
up by 48%.
Yeah.
So he just got one where he hasn't got one at all.
Yeah, basically. Dylan Moore from Hawthorn, 60% CBAs last round, which was up 46. Max Gorn, 76% CBAs, which was up 18. The Bont had 72% CBAs, which was up 15. And surprisingly, with his worst score for the year, Josh Dunkley had 72% CBAs, which was up by 12.
That explains it.
Now, Jack, this is the bit that you're not going to like. Those that lost CBAs. Liam Baker had 0% CBAs. He went down 49%.
Yeah, no, he played back the full time.
Adam Treloar had 0% CBAs, went down 39%.
And he still scored in the 90s? My king!
Hugh McCluggage, 37%, down by 31% there. Jade Gresham, 37% CBAs, which was down 20, and Ollie Wine, 67% CBAs, which was down 8. So that's just something to keep an eye on. But that will do us for tonight's podcast. So was there anyone we missed, anyone that you want us to talk about, let us know. And yeah, anyone you're looking to trade in, what is your rank and what are you looking to do trader-wise? Let us know. You can do that on Twitter or on YouTube. We thank you again for your support and for listening and watching on Apple Podcasts and on YouTube. As I said, don't forget to hit us up on Twitter, search at Breakevens Pod, and on YouTube, search just the Breakevens and you'll find us there. So good luck to everybody for round 18. And on that note, as always, until next week, it's bye for now.
Bye.